Hi, I'm Daniela and I'm pregnant again with my second baby while my first baby is only 11 months old. They're going to be a year and 3 months apart. So it's been a journey. I haven't talked much about this pregnancy because I've been really disconnected from it, and to be honest, I felt a lot of shame for being disconnected from this pregnancy. But the truth is that now I'm just being gentle with myself, going with the flow, and understanding that it is hard to be pregnant while you're covering milestones with an almost 1-year-old. Ever since I got pregnant, my firstborn has been going through all of these changes, right? Like crawling, then walking, then eating solids, and then teeth and sleep problems, all of these things. So finally, I feel like I can breathe again. My baby's walking, he's sleeping a little better, and I feel like I've been connecting more to this baby. But I should make a different video for this, and if you're interested about hearing out the symptoms of a pregnant lady that has an almost toddler on the side, I am all about it. But this video is why we chose Europe to have our children. We knew that we wanted to have babies, and we knew that we wanted to have them back to back, and we knew that this system that we wanted to do was not going to work in the US, especially in Miami. I'm pretty sure I've shared this story in the channel before. We were in Miami when I got pregnant, and we were looking at rent for a 4-bedroom, considering we work from home and we want 2 kids, and our car bills and our phone bills and the internet bills and the having a baby bills, and we were absolutely overwhelmed. So we decided to come to Spain to take advantage of more affordable care and not having a car, and just making this phase easy for us, because we thought that if we had to break our heads up working, making money to barely be able to pay the bills, how were we going to be happy enough to raise children? So here we are in Madrid. And parentheses, if you're curious about how I moved from Miami to Madrid and how that immigration process went, I have a video about it, and I also have a video about living expenses in Madrid, so go check those out. For one, there is affordable medical care. As European citizens / residents in my case, we do have free care or public care that functions very well. Sometimes we use it, but the truth is that we do use the private medical care more, since it's quicker in theory. We can get appointments like for next week if we want to, and if we are in the public system, of course it takes longer. So we do have a bill for that, but it's definitely more affordable than what we would pay in the US. And again, I talk about all of these details in my other video about cost of living in Madrid. Besides the affordable price of medical care, there are also great benefits like maternity leave, which is about 16 weeks, and then dads also have parental leave that, if I'm not mistaken, it could be up to 12 weeks. But as a mom, you can even extend this time if you get a doctor's note or, a good excuse. So that is something I don't think it's really common in the US. If I'm not mistaken, one of my coworkers back when I worked in corporate America got a month off when she gave birth to her baby. Childcare. The cost of childcare in Madrid can range from 300 euros to 800 euros on average. In Miami, I think it starts at $800 and up, depending on what type of place, of course, and how many hours a day. We don't do childcare. We have a full-time nanny at home that lives with us, and it's something that I knew we were not going to be able to afford in Miami, just because like bringing another human being into your household was going to be really costly in Miami. For their salary, what I have heard, and I could be wrong, is that the lowest price I've heard is $2,200 a month to pay an intern nanny, but 3,000 is not uncommon. 2,000 to 3,000 are the prices that you can expect. If you look at the hourly rate, I think nannies in Miami are charging around $18 to $20 an hour as a cheap rate. In contrast, in Madrid, we pay like 60% less of what we would pay an intern in Miami, and The hourly rate here for child care at home could start at €8 in residential areas or suburban areas in Madrid, but you know, if you come to the center of the city, it's going to be more expensive. I think that 12 is the most common rate I hear, and 15 are the most expensive ones I've heard. Safety is another reason why I like to live in Madrid. I have said it before, I've traveled around the world, and there are a few places I have felt super safe walking outside at night, being alone, and one of them is Madrid. So I feel absolutely safe walking around Madrid with my stroller by myself. I know nothing's gonna happen. I feel really safe here. And it's also amazing that I don't have to worry about shootings or being robbed or feeling sketchy like I have felt many times in the US. Another reason is that I feel that Spain is really family oriented, and I think many places in Europe feel this way as well, but I can only speak for Madrid. I love that I see parents everywhere with their children. You know, I see babies sleeping on parents' arms at a museum, at a restaurant, like kids joining fancy dinners, like well dressed and behaving accordingly. It's really normal to go out with your kids, and they learn from a really early age how to behave in these social situations. And this is something I don't think I noticed too much of in Miami. I think in Miami it feels like there are family style restaurants, and they're actually called like that, and then restaurants for adults, or you know, parks and places for kids that are not for adults. And this is a good thing in a way, so everyone has their space, but I also love how here kids just again learn how to behave in these situations. Healthy baby food. I only experienced this in Florida, not sure how it is in other places in the US, but every time I went to places like Target or Publix or a pharmacy, I had a really hard time finding healthy baby food. And when I say healthy, I'm talking about no added sugars, no added salt, and no preservatives. And I thought that was so disappointing. Here in Madrid, every time I go to a supermarket, I can just like grab baby snacks and feel so safe. Of course, I double check that they have the ingredients I feel safe offering to my baby, but usually there's no added salt, there's no added sugar, and I have tasted the food and it tastes pretty bland. Sometimes it's not really like flavorful. I usually make my own food for him, but when we are on the go and I need a snack, I want to make sure that he is eating things that are healthy, things that I would make for him at home. So that's how it feels here. In Florida, I had to go to super expensive places like Whole Foods or Sprouts to find pretty expensive snacks. So that's one thing. When it comes to formula, it's also a similar story. I think that being in Europe, as you already know, things here are well regulated, and there are a lot of great formulas for babies over here. I have friends from the US that like to buy European brands, so we have a good reputation here for formula. And I spend 22 euros per 800 gram box of formula, and I use the brand Hip, which I love. It's been great for my baby since day one that I tried it. And when I went to the US this January, I was spending $39 per formula box. So big difference here. I think we're talking about a $15 difference even after the conversion, and that definitely adds up. On a similar topic, food, I also notice how kids here in Europe eat more real food, like adult food. I don't know if that's the appropriate term, it's just food, but kids here are eating seafood from an early age, and rice and eggs and tortilla de patatas. You see them eating what the adults eat. Wow. Rarely you see the kids menu at a restaurant. Rarely you see a kid at a restaurant having chicken fingers while parents are having, I don't know, risotto. So this is something that I also love to see here, and it's something that excites me as a mom in Europe, that my kid already eats what I eat, and I don't have to have special kid food that I don't know how great is for them at the end of the day. So that's something I love. Public transportation works amazingly in Madrid, and it's safe and it's clean, and there's a space for the stroller, there's a space for pregnant ladies like me. So I feel like a queen every time I take the bus. I definitely did not feel that way in Miami. The bus system is so disorganized, it's dirty, it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't function well, it's never punctual, messy in the US, at least in Miami. Now here in Madrid, I feel like I can go everywhere and I don't need a car. So I don't have to worry about driving pregnant while having an almost toddler crying in the back of my car, dealing with the car seat and the stroller and the bag and all of these things. I just go out with my stroller, go on the bus, get off, not having to rearrange myself with different things. So I love that. Besides that, I don't have to deal with putting gas, drunk drivers, crazy drivers in Miami, traffic jams, none of this. I mostly walk, and if I'm going too far, I take the bus, and I'm so grateful to have these opportunities. That is something that I think that calls for quality of life, and I'm so glad that I have it. Culture. I'm a little bit sad to say that I still haven't immersed myself into Spanish culture and celebrations and festivities. There are so many, and I've been pregnant the whole time since I'm here, so I haven't had the time to participate and enjoy it. But it's something I love, and it's something I look forward to doing with my kids. Spain is a place of traditions and festivities and cultures and parties. They love their celebrations, and I want to join them. I think it's going to be good for my kids to be part of this community and this sense of tradition that has been lost in the US. Easter just passed by and I didn't even notice, because most of the time I worked Easter or Christmas or Thanksgiving. So it got to a point that I replaced all of my traditions and cultural festivities for work. It felt fitting because everyone in Miami is like that, and if you're not, no one's gonna want you in their company. So I learned from an early age that festivities were not important or were secondary. Only if you were allowed to, you could enjoy them. But I think my kids deserve to live those experiences, and I can't wait to show them. Travel, travel, travel. An exciting topic for me. My 11-month-old has gone to 13 cities in the last 11 months, and that's way more than I did until probably age 20. It's an amazing thing that he has been able to travel so much. And I'm not saying you can't travel in the US. Of course you can travel in the US. But let me just say, there are different forms of travel, but flying is super annoying. Car drives are cool, but also constricted and small. And if you have an emergency and there's nothing where you can stop, then you freak out. So don't love it either. And also longer, right? Like in length, you go slower in a car than in a train. Train is the perfect place to travel with a baby. It's fast. We have traveled to so many cities in Spain, and it's just so convenient. Yes, it is still a small space. Yes, the bathrooms are still uncomfortable and sometimes disgusting, but it is usually a shorter travel time. We love traveling by train, and it's what we've done to keep up with our traveling experiences with a baby. There you go. Those are 9 reasons why we have been enjoying raising and building a family here in Europe, and why we think this was the best option for us, and how we are able to have kids back to back and afford it. So yeah, I think that's going to be all for today. Short, sweet, and to the point. But if you want more details about life with 2 under 2, I don't have too many details yet because this baby is due in July, but I'm already, feeling it and embracing it. So I have stuff to say. Ask me if you want to know more, and I'll see you soon in another video.